Welcome to Dive in the Details with myself, AmiraaVee. Today we have celebrity stylist extraordinaire, EJ King, and Kollin Carter, fashion stylist, sitting with me today. Thank you guys for being here. It's so crazy how we were just casually having a conversation and look where we are now. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time out. I first want to know what made you say yes to this sit down. I'll start with you, Kollin.
I think that for me, we had a lot of different media outlets and different platforms that were biting at us to give them like an exclusive. But I just think it was really important for me to share this moment with another young Black creative, because every time we do something, like we're giving someone else so much content and it gets so many clicks and views on their platform. And in the end, like you realize, wait, damn, did I just tell them all of this and give them all this insight for what? Like it wasn't fulfilling or beneficial to me in any way. So I feel like doing this is so much more fulfilling and so much more beneficial, and it just makes sense. You know, it feels right. You know,
it feels right. It's the right timing. And I just met you, EJ, so I'm just happy. Like you didn't know me from a can of paint, and you're here.
But when he called me and when we talked about it, I'm game. I just love that we all can just be sitting here creating and giving each other these type of moments. And so, why not? Why not do this?
Why not?
Why not give you the moment that? And I've been telling him like we need to talk to somebody. We need to, and this was perfect. So right when he said it and we spoke, I just like it made sense.
So today we're going to be talking about everything WAP.
Everything.
We're still in the height and the momentum of the song. It just hit the Billboard charts, Billboard Hot 100 charts, #1 in the country and in Canada. It's such a big deal. Congratulations are in order for you both, because I'm sure it's just as big of a deal as it is for Cardi and Meg as it is for you two, because you guys dropped the song and the visual at the same time, and you guys were the pioneers behind the visual. So let's get into it. How did this collaboration come about for Cardi and Meg to begin with?
So Kollin called me one day and was like, hey, so I think the girls should meet. And the crazy thing is I had always told Megan like, yo, I think one day we should meet Cardi. I think she's dope. I think like there's such a misunderstanding or a fake idea that you guys have some type of beef, and there's no beef. And so when Kollin called me, I was like, yo, this is so perfect. Let's do it. And I think for me and for him, we went back probably like 2 days back and forth, like, you know, you sure she good? You sure she good? She, you know, and so, and it was, I was like, nah, she good, let's do it. And he was like, I was like, you sure Cardi cool? He was like, no, Cardi good. I was like, all right. And then we were supposed to meet at Megan's house. We set up a time, we set up a date. I thought Cardi was out of town. So I told Kollin like they were supposed to do a phone call first, a FaceTime. And I think you suggested like they should meet in person. And I was like, well, cool, whenever Cardi's back in LA, just let me know and I'll tell Megan. And he was like, well, shit, Cardi here now. I was like, oh, okay. And so we talked, both girls were excited. We were originally supposed to meet at Megan's house. We ended up switching and meeting at Cardi's Hotel. And I think for me, it was really, really, really important because Cardi is seasoned, you know? So as new as she is, she's accomplished a lot. And so as big as Megan is getting and how fast she's rising, for me, it was like, you should sit down with Cardi, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to sit down with older rappers, but because Cardi's the newest one in the game and she's accomplished so much, she can give you the most insight on how to deal with people and how to deal with things. And
their elevation is similar too.
Yeah, you know, and they're both young, and I love that. And so I didn't know Cardi personally. I've met her a few times. I know Hennessy, and so I just wanted it to be positive, you know, and talking to Kollin, that like from day one, that has been our whole thing. Like, this is positive. It's a good thing. It makes sense. Like, he spoke to his team. I spoke to my team. And we really just decided to keep it between us. It was really just me, Kollin, and the girls, you know? And because this was never the driving force was for a record, it was really just for the girls to meet and for you to be like, this is Cardi, this is Megan. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because when you're in the moment in the world, you're kind of in your celebrity moment. So outside, Cardi is Cardi, so she has to be Cardi B outside, you know? And so Megan is Megan, so you're kind of you're meeting the surface people. And because we're in COVID and it was such a intimate thing, we're meeting like this, you know? So you get to meet her in a different aspect. And so that was the whole conversation, like in a quick nutshell on how it came about.
And then shortly after, Cardi just what?
So shortly after we were talking, me and EJ were talking, and I was just like, I think Cardi has a song that Megan would be so dope on.
Yeah. And I actually was gonna call him and tell him, like, I think Megan got a song. Megan has a song that she thinks Cardi would be dope for. And he was like, well, shit, I think
this song.
Cardi got a song. And this is me all day. So like, I'm knowing, and another thing is too, knowing Kollin throughout the business, I knew him in somewhat of passing, you know, like we seen each other events, we knew each other, but I didn't know him as well as we know each other now. And so even for us to be the ones that kind of facilitated, I was like, this is important on this aspect because not only are we two stylists, but we have two rap girls, and it's easy to look at you like competition, you know what I'm saying? Or it's easy to look at you like, or I could have easily been told Megan, like, girl, pay Cardi, you don't need, you know what I'm saying? And you feed that weird ego and you feed that negativity. And so because this was positive between us, it just made the process that much easier, you know? And so when we got to the hotel, we left them. Me and Kollin went on the patio and we talked, and we was there for like, 4 hours?
Damn, they in there for a long time.
Like literally it was only Kollin and Cardi. So we just left her and Megan in the hotel, in the room, and they talked, and we got caught up in our conversation. And then I think it got to a point where the girls came and got us. Like, damn, why y'all still out here? We was like, shit, we trying to let y'all. But we all had to, like, we all sat down and just
like another 2 hours.
2 hours just talking, just laughing, and it just being a thing to where when we left, Kollin called me the next day. He was like, that went real good. And I was like, Megan really loved Cardi. Like, and then he told me how much Cardi really loved Megan. I was like, damn, that's dope.
It's
like,
organic.
It's so organic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was no egos. It was no extra people. It was nothing. And so when he called me and told me about the record, he played it for me over the phone. No, you played me.
No, I played it for
over
you
the phone.
Person.
Oh, in person. You came to my house.
I came to the house.
So what did you think when you first heard the song, EJ?
So with Cardi on the record by herself, I love the record when I first heard it. And so because, of course, Megan wasn't on it, I could hear Megan on the song, but because the whole song was pretty much done, I was like, yo, this song is fire, you know? And I just got excited, and I called Megan. Like, right there, I was like, Megan, Cardi got this song, and da-da-da.
I said, listen, EJ, I'm gonna show you this song. I said, don't tell Megan that you heard it, because I want Cardi to show it to Megan. As soon as the song went off, he called Megan like, bitch, Cardi got a song, hoes in this house, da-da-da. I was like, damn. Like,
so Megan was like, let me hear it. I was like, Cardi gonna send it. You know what I'm saying? I said, Kollin said Cardi gonna send it over and stuff like that. And so I just was geeked. I was geeked about it. And I couldn't shake it. And so which then made Megan excited, because she was like, bitch. I was like, Megan, you gotta hear the record. You gotta hear the record. And because I'm such a person that until it's done, until it happens, I'm like, damn, what if it don't happen? What if this, you know? And so, because you never know, once management and labels and everybody get involved, things get tainted, you know? And so, I think what happened, we played the record.
Well, Cardi sent
Megan the record.
Yeah, Cardi sent Megan the record. Megan loved it. And Megan did her verse, in a day. The next day or two, she called me, because I think for me, I was anxious because Megan hates when people are in the studio with her. And so a lot of her recording
she's by herself, just her and the producer. So when I kept calling her, like, you do the song yet? You like the song? She was like, I just got it. I'm vibing. I'm about to do it. I was like, all right, cool. And then the next day I called her. I was like, you do the song yet? Tell me you did the song. She was like, bitch, I did the song and I ate it. Da-da-da. I was like, and then I found out she had did 2 verses. And I said, you
went in.
You own it. And she was like, if I'm gonna be on it, let's be on it. And I was like, dope. And then I kept asking Kollin, like, did you hear it? Did you hear it? And then he told me he finally heard it.
And I think it was super dope because initially, you know, as a feature, sometimes you have like the key person or the key artist has like a verse, and then the feature has
kind
a
of falls
verse,
in the back a little bit.
and then the talent probably has another. The key talent has another verse, but Cardi was like, no, like I want her to have the same amount of verses I have, the same amount of scenes, the same amount of outfits.
So she
like,
set
everything.
the tone from jump.
Yeah,
From jump.
which I think was really cool because she was able to, because she's never worked with another female artist either, really, you know. So I think that it was her opportunity, like she knew that it was her opportunity to like say, this is how it should go and this is how it should be. And when people walk away from me and my team, they'll only have good things to say because this is how the experience should be for a collaboration.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Like with EJ, it was just supernatural. We're men, so I feel like it's a little different. But I think with women, like sometimes you have to like take certain things into consideration. Like you have to take everything into consideration.
Right.
So it's just like, how would she feel if she had one less outfit or one less verse or one less, you know? So I think that Cardi really killed that. Like she was really able to like just drive the narrative of like real unity, you know?
Yeah. So what made Cardi decide to drop the song with the visual at the same time? Because usually the song would drop first, right? And then the video would come out later. Like, did she want people to just automatically have a certain perception of what WAP was, or what do you think?
Cardi is really smart. Like she's a really, really, really smart girl. Like she has ideas sometimes that we'll be like, I don't know. And she'll be like, no, this is how it needs to go. Like, but I think that people forget that like she comes from the generation of social media. So she controls everything that she does, like in the public eye. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's, you know, not so good, but it's like at the end of the day, it's
her narrative.
Yeah, it's her narrative, and that's what you're gonna get. So I think that for the video, she just really wanted to make it a little more impactful, because when you hear the song by itself, people have the option to either say, oh, I like the song and not tune into the video, or vice versa. So I think for her, it was about just putting a visual with the audio so people can receive it in a certain way. Because honestly, the song was so nasty. The song is so nasty. And the clean version is not as nasty, but it's still nasty. And I think that it kind of, the visual helped reel it in and tone down, because like by the time you got done watching the video, you didn't really realize that the song was about,
yeah,
you know, what it was about. So, yeah, I think she was the one that kind of drove, like wanting to like being very adamant about like dropping the song with the visual.
So with the song coming out, not only did you style the visual as well, but you have creative direction.
Yeah,
you know, credits in there.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Thank you.
I'm sure that was a lot to maneuver, not only creative directing but styling.
Yeah.
Where did you draw inspiration from? Like, what was your process like?
I think for me, we do it naturally all the time as stylists. Like, and I've done it for like a couple of her videos. And this time around, I was like, I talked to her, I'm just like, I think it's time for me to go ahead, because we all like collectively as a team, we bring things to the table. Like I may say, I want this, or I want, you know, a room full of snakes and them laying in, you know, a pit of sand. So, and then she'll come in and say, oh, well, I like that, but I think that maybe we should do it a little more like this, or I want to be close to nude or little to nothing, on which we still didn't. It ended up being a whole look.
Yeah.
But
We'll
it
get
was
into
as
the
close
looks.
to
We'll get into
nude
the
as
look.
we get. But yeah, I just think it's natural. I think like when I'm inspired or excited by something, because I've heard different records before and you know, I love them, but it's like it's a whole nother thing and a whole nother level when you're able to see things when you hear it. So for me, I felt like my job was to almost, like I said, like reel in the narrative of the song and still make it like, you know, fun. And you know, she was very adamant about colorful, because for me, if I could shoot with Jorah all day, I would do it, because she gets like dark and edgy and editorial, but it was like she really wanted to push herself to do like colorful, you know, scenes and, you know, all of that good stuff. So I think that it was really easy to really, I don't even think the line was drawn. I kind of think like as I seen the outfit, I was able to, you know, come up with, you know, a visual for it. And then talking to EJ on the phone, like, what do you think if Cardi did an all leopard room, what can Megan's room be?
Right.
Like, so, you know, just having like, just kind of like organic conversations, and it all came together.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship like with Megan and like your creative process when it comes to styling her?
It's really open, you know? So because Megan is so new, the one thing I loved about just the whole process and all was, for me, rehearsal. Because as much as Jaquel, we get on Jaquel nerves because we will come in and like
choreographer.
It was a choreographer. Okay. We'll come in and kind of like overtake his space, but for me, I have to see the overall everything, you know. So what is the dance like? What is the setups like? And so I know Cardi released a clip showing us all sitting around talking creative, and so Megan is like, okay, you know, like she's so down with everything, and so. One thing Cardi was very adamant about was animals. And so when he told me the animals, I told Megan, like, so I said, you know, Cardi wants some snakes, right? She was like, she wants snakes? I was like.
And I know people want to know, like, were the animals real, from the tigers to the cheetahs?
Everything. They were there.
All the animals were real?
They were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so that part was dope because Cardi wanted everything to be in unison. I wanted Megan to have that same experience with Cardi. They both were terrified. I said, Cardi, you like animals? She was like, no. I was like, oh, because like to have cats and snakes, like they were both terrified of the animals. And so I was like, well, save that for the shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all be together, y'all can hold each other's hand, y'all can make sure y'all get through this scene, but it's easy. Like, I really love that Megan was able to see how Cardi worked with Kollin, you know, how much of an influence Kollin has, and she allows Kollin to have with her career. And so I think when we first met at the hotel, Cardi was telling Megan a story about how y'all work together and how like y'all disagree. And so Megan was like, should y'all be fighting too? Because me, EJ, always be fighting. I was like, but it happens, you know what I'm saying? It's always, because as creatives and stylists, we will always see things one way, and then, you know, they see things another way. And so I'm such an easygoing person as a stylist. I want to elevate your moment and your style, but I don't want to necessarily change who you are, you know? Because the moment you start dressing people the way you dress or the way you see them, it reads different if they're not comfortable in that moment. You know what I'm saying? They
don't own it because it's not them.
They don't.
Yeah.
So I've seen plenty of people that look amazing, but I was like, you look styled. Where I want you to look like this is your everyday roll out of bed and you just a dope chick. So with Megan, Cardi's a lot more open when it comes to like layering and fashion and stuff like that. Megan is still, well, she just turned 25, but Megan like short and Megan like body and stuff like that. So I'll try to put Megan in the pencil skirt. She'd be like, EJ, no, chop that bitch down. You know what I'm saying? Like, she'd be like, bring it to me here. And so my little back and forth with Megan is pushing the style limits because Megan has a crazy body, you know? And because Megan's height and her stature as a woman, I was like, Megan, we could just give a bomb silhouette. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could give a shape. She'd be like, no.
She'll grow into it.
And that's the part that, and for so long, what was really important with me and Kollin was people like to pin stylists together. You know what I'm saying? And so for a long time, people be like, I don't like the way you just make it. Y'all need to call Kollin. I don't like what she call him. Shit. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate, like, I call Kollin all the time and tell him when he kills something, when I love something. Like, you know, we both work with Tiana, and I was like, I'll call Kollin, like, Kollin, you killed Tiana's cover, you know, for Mac. So I never have an issue with working with people. You know what I'm saying? The first day I met Kollin, I was like, you dope. I don't know you, but I know of you, and you're dope as a stylist. And so with Megan, to be able to collab with everything and her be just open to everything, her and Cardi kind of just was like, y'all figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We have our ideas and this is what it is, but it really was the girls allowing us to do us and bring the idea to life.
I want to dive into like the collaboration between you two as stylists, because not that many stylists collaborate on projects together, especially high profile like this, or where it's so cohesive. So did you guys have different visions at first, or what was the process like? You can start, EJ, and then Kollin.
Literally, everything was an open book for everybody. Like I said, in rehearsal, we literally sat and talked about everything. There was not one thing that we didn't share with each other. And I think the dope part about Kollin and Cardi and everybody, like, Kollin shared everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything that they got on their end that we were supposed to get, or ideas or whatever it was. Even when it came down to designers, like, Kollin was like, I feel like, you know, whoever does Cardi solo or Megan solo should do the other, and so everything was shared, you know. And I think that is the part that was dope, because it was really just what she get. So it was kind of narrowing down what that was, but it was just easy. It was an easy situation.
Yeah, I think that was something that was really important to me, because we've done a lot of features. I remember doing De Niro with J-Lo and Cardi, and it was some insight on like how women work and how they work together, and like J-Lo, she had a vision, you know, and we had a vision as well, and it was great. So, but just from that experience, I wanted to come in and make this as seamless as possible. I think a lot of times, you know, even outside of projects, people look, you know, at one another like competition. So now we're entering a project, and that was the last thing I wanted, because it's like she could look as good as she want to look, but if she don't look as good, then it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
because they were twinning in a lot of the scenes.
Yeah, they were twinning in a lot of the scenes. So for me, that was the biggest thing, is just making sure that they both looked amazing. So, and I felt like the smartest thing to do was to use like the same designers, because it's just like, you know, I didn't want, you know, somebody to do EJ's and then somebody to do mine, and then EJ just bedazzled, or Cardi just bedazzled, and then one girl feeling like, bitch, why she got diamonds?
Girl, right.
So it's just like, we also had to even like take it a step further and just keep that positive narrative going on, and just making sure that everybody looked good and everything was even and everything was equal. So I think that, you know, we took what Cardi wanted, you know, basically she would say, oh, well, I kind of think for this scene, we should look sexy. And then Megan would double back and say, yeah, you know, I think that I want to look like this, this or that. So it was a couple scenes where, you know, I'm like, well, I think, well, maybe hair should be like this. And you're like, well, Megan's not going to do hair like that, but she'll do hair like this. So, but it was just really, like you said, it was an open book. So it was no issues with saying like, no.
Yeah.
Like, she's not gonna wear heels
Yeah.
that high, period.
Right. That tone that was set from jump, the cohesiveness is what made
Yeah.
it such a monumental
Yeah.
project, because it was just so clean. It just looked effortless, yet both of them held their own in the video, and they still, stood in their own light, although they were like, they looked very, in sync with one another.
Because even with glam, like we did mad Zoom calls.
Hair moments, makeup moments.
So with that, they asked us, they were like, so what do y'all think for hair? And how much of a process or a thing it was, we respect everybody's, I don't do hair. I can tell you what I think your hair should look like. I don't do hair. So I was like, cool, let's let hair jump in on a conversation, because when we first started, it was just us that had the conversation first, and then we brought in the rest of glam. And so we were like, shoot, let Tokyo and Kollin do the hair part. Erica did makeup, Megan does her own makeup.
Right.
So even where it came down to, Megan was like, put me on email or text with Erica so I can know how she do Cardi makeup, I can do my makeup.
It's slated.
And that's, you know what I'm saying? And so to even for Megan to be like, oh, I'll take her makeup, have her makeup to call me, is a big thing, because that's where we say there's no ego. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was seamless, and I loved that.
So not only did you style Cardi, you also styled Normani and Kylie Jenner. Talk about pressure.
I said.
How did you with big projects like this, how do you handle anxiety or pressure and to execute?
Well, so my anxiety is out the roof. Like the last 2 years, I've developed really bad anxiety. So I don't really have a lot of advice for as far as anxiety. I need to meditate.
But you get through it every time, and you execute amazingly. So what's the secret?
I think it's almost the anxiety that's the secret, like the stress and pressure of it all. And I'm contemplating, because I'm like, is this healthy? Because it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, this is wild. I should not be, this should not feel like the first time. No, it's their dog next door, their bitch ass dog.
Maybe we should throw them some meat.
With something in it. So I think that, the pressure of it all is what kind of makes it work. When I'm under a lot of pressure, it's like, what do they say? Pressure
makes diamonds.
Yeah, and that's really how I feel. I think that Normani, I came in with a very specific vision. And when I have a vision, I don't give my clients
room to argue.
Yeah, it's just this is the look. I feel and I'll tell them why this is the look, why I love this look. And it's it doesn't need to be a lot of a lot of options, or this color, because then you create a space where they can be really picky or choosy, when that your vision for it is what's going to work. So I know Normani's body. I've worked with her several times, and I'm she needs this houndstooth moment. And then with Kylie, what was crazy is because Kylie got confirmed a little later in the game.
Yeah.
So she got confirmed a little later in the game. Now, I was stressed about Kylie because I'm always just stressed.
Right.
But I was super stressed about Kylie because whenever it's a first time client, I always just want to leave a good impression. And I don't know how she works or how she operates. So, but it was just kind of about going in with that confidence. The narrative that I always try to create for myself is if I style Naomi Campbell,
you can style anyone.
Then I can style anyone, because she's seen everything, she's done everything.
Naomi is fashion.
She's worn everything. So it's just I could do Normani, I could do Kylie, right. So I think I really just kept reminding myself Naomi Campbell. So and it ended up turning out well. The deadlines were crazy, and it's so funny because what we ended up going with didn't get finished until 7 a.m. that morning. So, and we actually took additional fabric from that Mugler scent for Cardi and for the walls, and we created this whole Leopard moment, and me and Patience, we talked on the phone like how can we make this make sense as far as them both having on the same print, and then that's how the hallway scene came about. So yeah.
Which, from a styling standpoint, once again, for Cardi to allow another big woman to be in the same print that she's in as her solo says a lot about Cardi, because I know people who be like, no, I don't care who that is, you know? And I don't think people really understand like how shy Cardi is. And so you take this public persona of this girl to be on Instagram, and she's very outspoken and she's just very forward. But in the house, Cardi is such a shy person. And she's so on the set, she was like, super like, is Megan okay? Is everybody good? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it? And I love that. So when Kollin told me, he was like, bitch, I gotta do Kylie. I was like, bitch, good luck. Like, because this is your client and this is your client's video. And so, you know, you oversee everybody, you know what I'm saying? You still had to oversee, even though somebody else did the dancers, you still had to oversee what that is. You still had to oversee what, Suki and Milano, and so you still have to oversee it. So his pressure onto my pressure was different. Once Megan did her fitting, I was like, well, shit. All right, well, Kollin, you know, but because you had everybody, and so even those moments, like I was like, if you need me, hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I rooted that on because this is a dope moment. You know, like it's a big deal to have these girls in here, and even though you can be like Normani's are your client, she still's looking at you like I'm still your client, you know?
Right, exactly. And that was what was really important to me, because I feel like I wanted to make sure that everyone still felt super important and super special. So I mean, actually the morning of, I didn't fit Normani until the morning of, and I didn't fit Kylie until right before her scene. So that's where a lot of the pressure comes in too. Because whereas we were fitting days, you know, we had different fitting on different days when it came to the two girls, but it was like, you know, as soon as I met Kylie, I went right into a fitting with her and just hoped that something would work. And then for Mani, like I think I have her down packed now. So before I headed to set that morning, I fit her. And I made sure she was good, because it's really important. Like, if you're not there to at least dress them, to be there to, you know, be at the fitting, make sure you give, you know, your input. So I was able to do all of that, and then I left someone behind to dress her later on that day. And then when it was time for her to go on, I was able to like tie her shoes and, you know, see her off the set. So it was, so it was a lot of pressure, but to me, I've just been learning more to create the space for myself that I want to work in. So it's like, because I'll stress myself out every single time, but then it works out every single time. And it's like, did I really have to go through the process of feeling like it wasn't going to work when it always worked?
Because that pushes you harder though. I think sometimes when you get too laxed and you get in the space of like, she gonna be fine.
You won't give your all.
You know, you still give your all, but you don't push yourself past that limit, because the anxiety is what gets you through it. And so I know that both of us, you would never see us sweat. You will never know. Megan will never know if there's ever an issue. But I watched Cardi like, let him go. I was like, I went in her room and I was like, where's Kollin? She was like, I don't think we get no money. Even that is amazing, because she still allowed him to go with his other client and still cater to her. You know, he still had to go. You definitely got to cater to Kylie. You definitely got, because that mama and that team, them is, you know, they own it, you know? And so I loved seeing like, damn, this boy.
And she also knew, she was like, at the end of the day, like this whole video is a reflection.
Oh, you get it right. And I love that. So I was telling Megan, like, child, look at Kollin running around this set. I was like, but it's dope, because in the end process, like I went there and I was talking to Kollin. I was like, bitch, Kollin did that little Mugler look. She was like, thank you for calling him Mugler. You know, I was like, Kylie, he ate that little bitch. You look fat, bitch. And so, you know, and so it's just, I told him it's important for me to let people know when you're not in the room how dope they're doing with somebody as their team. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that the whole looking at the process and looking how he was busting ass and how Cardi just was so easy about it, I was like, damn, like it's a big deal.
What's the hardest scene to pull together?
The Mugler.
The Mugler scene?
Oh yeah, the Mugler. I would say the Mugler was the hardest scene. Mugler, they, the fabric.
I didn't even give it no thought. Mugler.
Because I did have to think. Yeah, the fabric was a tricky fabric because it was stretch, but it wasn't as stretchy as we thought it was going to be. And then it was also a scene where the ladies were doing a lot of movement. So initially, when Cardi tried on hers, and when Megan tried on hers as well, like it was already busting at the seams. So, and they weren't even dancing.
Wow.
So we had Baba and John, shout out to them.
Tail Extraordinaires, designers.
Baby, can I tell you?
Yes.
So he really Baba came through and
reconstructed
reconstructed the whole
Once again,
the whole thing. Baba's a go.
Again,
the go.
Because we've worn Mugler, but we've worn Mugler's runway stuff. Like we run their contemporary stuff. So it stretched, it came in sizes and da. So this particular outfit, Mugler sent me two samples to try on for Megan. And so Megan tried it on one day backwards. And so she was like, EJ, this not gonna work. And I was like, damn. So then when I tried it on her, it's like you literally have to inch. And so every piece up. And so you looking at this little outfit, I'm like, I don't know how. And it did stretch, but because Mugler's fabric is so delicate, and because they had it's kind of like piping and patching, because it was sheared and it was solid, and so to even for a seamstress, and I give it up to seamstress because I looked at it like I don't know how you're gonna get this apart because it's such a detailed design and it's such a detailed fabric and soft fabric that.
And the Mugler piece, just to be clear, was the green and the
purple.
green and the purple. Okay, the green and the purple.
And then so that switched because originally me and Kollin was like, oh, the Mugler was the intro look. So the look that they would have been walking down the hallway in
would have been green and purple.
Would have been green and purple.
When it goes to choosing the designers for your clients, especially in a visual like this, do the morals and the values of the brands or designers matter? Like what made you go with the designers you decided to go with?
I think for me, I always, especially right now in the climate of everything that's going on, we got a few things made from a few people.
Yeah.
And what ended up working is so crazy is everybody who is like our go-tos.
Yeah.
So just like, I'm all about like creating new opportunities and especially like working with Black designers. But it's so crazy because I look back at the video and we had, I hate the word minority, but we had a designer that is a minority, but we didn't have any all Black designers. Everybody was pretty much a minority. Yeah. But we did have Black designers make some things and they didn't necessarily work out. So I think for me, morally, there's a lot of designers who we just wouldn't touch. But then there's also designers that I think a lot of people don't realize because everything right now in the climate, what's going on, everything is so, Black. And I'm 100% for it, clearly, because I'm Black. But I also like to nourish the relationships that we have and that have been long lasting and people that have supported us, throughout her career and from the beginning before it was cool or a thing to support Black artists because of the climate of what's going on.
Right.
So, we work with designers who, you guys work with Venus. She always comes through super last minute, and
I love Venus.
Yeah, she'll make it happen.
For this video, it was special because we did use so many designers, but I appreciate each designer, and like I was telling Kollin, that for me, what's important is the energy and the excitement from them. You know, because we've called people, and some people are like, "Oh, okay, cool. Just let us know." Da, da, da. And then we'll call somebody like
Oh my God.
Zygmunt.
Yeah.
You know, and Zygmunt called me. He was like, and everything about it was right away like, yes, Venus. I use Venus a lot. We use Venus together on Diamonds when we did that. And so,
which is so crazy because WAP feels like it was our first time working together.
Yeah.
But we worked together on Diamonds with Normani and Meg, but I feel like we didn't have to coordinate.
We didn't have to coordinate
as
for Diamonds.
much, and it was just a different moment. I feel like people have been waiting for, like, people. I used to get comments on my page like as if I was an A&R or something like, why Cardi and Megan ain't did nothing? So I think that goes back to what you were saying, like working with people who were equally as excited and willing to go the extra mile and make it work last minute, I think was super important because they were able to see how mega and iconic, you know, that this moment had the potential to be.
Yeah.
This visual was a true testimony of what can happen when ideas, visions, and everyone that's just literally owning their expertise can do when you come together. So it's a big deal, you know, and WAP deserves all of the praises. I think it was probably, you know, the best work yet that you guys have done. It's like, how do you top this? What's next?
I honestly I'll leave that to God because I look at like the Money video, and to me, the Money video is still personally my favorite. And I think that I have to, as an artist, I think I have to focus on not necessarily topping,
but just
creating one thing, but just creating, because it's like, if I would have tried to top Money, it would have looked like Money. Like it would have looked like Money, but more
on steroids.
Yeah, on steroids. So I think that like just realizing like this is a different world and this is like something different that we're tapping into. So I think that a lot of times I always think like, wow, like what am I gonna do next? But I think that I stopped putting that pressure on myself and know that like I do have a gift that has been given to me. So it's like even when you feel like you're out of ideas or out of like what you're gonna do next, is like one day you'll just wake up with a new idea. So I think that it gets really hard when you're doing like a lot of work back to back to back to back, which we wore for almost 3 years. But I think COVID kind of like gave you the relief that you needed to kind of just sit back and like dive into different references. And like, so I think that I'm good for about the next 2 years. So yeah, I'm ready to go. So it's like, I think that I even want to do something that's a little less costume, that's more like lifestyle. You know, we have some things planned. So I think that I think my goal is to treat every individual project as an individual project.
Yeah. I think for me, this is Megan's second year being out. So when I got with Megan, I kind of already jumped on a train. I was already full speed ahead, you know? And so all last year, this time last year, which is so crazy. Last year, we were literally on tour from June all the way up into January. And so it was festivals and it was outside shows. And so still learning Megan and learning who she is and just trying to just jump on it, you know, like Megan would wear shorts all year round if you let her, you know. She'd be like, EJ, give me some shorts. And so for me, it's I like the process of growing, you know. I think the situation for Kollin and CardiB were slightly a little different. And so he was able to take her and catapult her, and they just be fashion. For Megan, I want Megan and her fans to grow in the process, you know. And I think that when I put a lot of pressure on myself, because like I said, I I don't dress people for Instagram. You know, I don't dress people for comments and stuff like that. And because a lot of times people don't know the backstory on why something is. And so, you know, as long as me and the client is fine, I'm good. But I do want you to have an elevation. I do want you to look back and say, damn, look where I was. Damn, look where I am, you know? And it's all a process. And that journey, I'm a true believer that people today no longer take that journey with their fans, you know? It's like, if Beyonce just came out as Beyonce, then we wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't be a time you can look back like, damn, you really have became this magnitude of a person, you know what I'm saying? So even when you look at Cardi when she first started to the Cardi who she is now, it's like you can see the journey and the progression, but let that story be told throughout their career, you know? And so for Megan, I like the trial and error. I like the now that she wants to do a little bit more, like you said, she's gonna grow into the pencil skirts and the full cut. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna grow into all those moments, but growth nonetheless is important. And so
trusting the process.
Yeah, I love the process. I never shy away from the process. You know what I'm saying? People don't know the things that we deal with on the back end, you know? And so people just see the final product, and people like to insert their opinions and their critiques or whatever they want to have and not know the history on it, you know? And so for me, like you said, you treat each project like it's the first, and you know, you try to top yourself in yourself. I don't want to top what I did. I want to make this a whole nother big moment that you can say, damn, that was there. Damn, that was there. Because I feel like shit. He killed the gala, Met Gala. You know what I'm saying? So how you feel? You be like, damn, I'm gonna top this. You know, and so
many
you know,
moments,
the press video. You too though. So when I'm doing things with Megan, I was like, I want you to have those moments, and I want you to be able to look back and be like, damn, I've come, and even we've done it. You know, we look back at some of Megan's old stuff like, damn, we came some ways, and it's only been a year. So imagine, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
So with everything that's happened, EJ, would you say you're living your dreams right now?
I am. You know what? I've been living my dreams. You know,
EJ done been in the game.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for a minute.
And I literally prayed, and I was like, I loved the journey that Kollin got to have with Cardi. I love the journey that Law got to have with Zendaya. I love the journey that, you know, a lot of my friends got to have with these women as they rise up, and you built this amazing brand with these women. I was like, damn, I want that, because when I got with Chris, he was already Chris, you know, and that was that. So I just was kind of dressing a person that already was established. Megan, we're establishing who you are as a brand.
So you're able to do that with
her. I'm able to do it. So with Megan, I'm having fun in creating, and people will call me like, damn, y'all seem so, y'all have fun all the time. And that's it. I like fun. I like positivity. I like easy things, because this business and this world is already hectic and bullshit enough, you know? And so, you know, so Megan, she isn't the biggest, but she is the most fun that I've had in a long time with clients and with somebody.
So
you
it
know?
made it feel new again.
Yeah, because I didn't want other people. When I got with Megan, I was like, I don't want to deal with a bunch of other people. And so I tell Kollin that all the time. I'm like, I commend you, you know, for being able to navigate and maneuver through these women and these personalities and these egos. Like, it's a lot to deal with. Mentally, emotionally drained.
Being
like,
a stylist is not easy at all.
We bring it home. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know what Kollin house looked at the bottom of them stairs. Like, y'all don't know our house be overrun with clothes, and we deal with designers, and we deal with every little thing that goes wrong. So for me, a lot of my career, I didn't want to have a bunch of people no more, you know? He called me when he got Naomi. I was like, bitch, you gonna eat, Naomi. You know, like, everybody that you've gotten, so like lately you called me, and I was like, and I just give you the praise, because I think that's an amazing thing that us as young Black creatives are getting these opportunities to do, you know, these type of moments. You know, even with Kylie, I was like, bitch, Kylie, he ate that. You know what I'm saying? So if you I don't know who you got, but call my man if you know what I'm saying? Like, because I can equally share that moment with you and be happy for you in that moment, because I'm content with how I am, you know what I'm saying? So,
and knowing that what's for you is going to be for you regardless.
It's always been that way.
It's
literally always been that way, you know? And so his success don't diminish my success, and you know, his opportunities don't shine different on mine. And so I can be happy for him as my brother, and I can be happy about this moment. And literally since the videos come out, I've literally said that every time that somebody has asked me, like, this was one of the funnest, most, because it's fun is the word.
Funnest is not.
Most fun, most intense.
Most fun, most intense.
Most exciting.
No, you know what? Yeah, it wasn't even intense. It just, it really just
really
came and
wasn't
went.
intense.
It wasn't.
How long did it come together and how many?
Like a month.
A month?
From the time that they met.
From the time that they met to the time that we
That's a quick
shot.
turnaround.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was super.
it was
quick.
fun.
It was super fast.
Cardi walked out, or Megan walked out to Cardi's room, and they had the exact same hairstyle. And it wasn't. They just said updo, you know.
And it turned out
And
identical.
it turned literally, and it was like, this is how flawless and easy this
was
shoot
seamless.
is.
The
You
whole
know,
process was just,
Yeah.
the
Chemistry looks
was
like.
there.
it's crazy. It's crazy, and everybody did dope. Like I really just, everybody from the seamstress to the production to glam to management, like everybody did their part to make this an easy process, and that's what it was. And now they got a #1. This was a very hush project, and so nobody knew. So even when I was on set, I remember the label asked me, they was like, can you go back upstairs, because none of the features knew. I think only person I knew was Kylie.
Kylie
And Normani. But so when I went downstairs, I realized that they were all dancing to the instrumental. So none of the girls knew Megan was on the record. Nobody knew what the song sounded like. And so that's how much like we kept this under wraps.
So as we come to a close, I want to just ask you, Kollin, what would you like your legacy to be, or people to take away from your work? What message do you want them to get, feel?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm still figuring that out, honestly. I mean, I think that what's so important, I think that a lot of people focus in on how they want to be perceived versus what they want to create. Because at the end of the day, I feel like people perceive things the only way that they know how to sometimes. So even with WAP, you know, it's very like, some people are just like, oh my God, this is disgusting.
Right.
And then you have people who are like, if men could talk about it, why can't women? Like, why can't we embrace our vaginas? Why can't we, you know? So I think that right now I'm just focused on what I want to create, and I just want to make sure that when people see my work, that it's something that they can feel versus something that they just are able to see.
Right.
So, and I mean, I feel like my legacy will be however people want to perceive it, because I could say what I want it to be, but it could be like, Kollin is so tacky, you know, like somebody
always.
Which I would hope.
Someone said that?
No. But I'm just saying that I feel like I want people to perceive it how it's given to them, or receive it however they receive it. So I just want to make sure that whether it made you feel weird, uncomfortable, indifferent, like it was something that you felt. So I think that's my biggest thing right now. Especially after COVID, because like I had all of these goals, and like I just knew what my 5-year plan was, and I feel like once COVID happened, it just kind of like changed the way I felt about about my perspective, and about like, because now it's like mogul, period. I'm not styling for another 5 years. Like after this, it's like I'm hopefully I got 2 more years. I got 2 more years under my belt, and it's just like, then it's time to go into interior design and decorating and like starting a collective.
You're so good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You're so good at it. You
Thank
just have
you.
a special eye, period, and it
Thank
reflects
you.
in how you live and your work
Thank
and
you.
everything. So
Thank you.
I just want to say, EJ, you did that. Okay.
Thank you.
Kollin, Carter, you did that.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank you both for sharing the space with me, and I wish you both much continued success.
Yes.
And
I
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
You as
diving
well.
to the details with me.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad we did this.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Dive in the Details with AmiraaVee. Make sure you like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.